Hello, and welcome to the training for True Impact Social Impact Reporting. My name's Jenny. I'm the Research and Evaluation Lead here at True Impact, and I'm going to walk you through some of the basics of our report builder. The benefits of using the True Impact Report Builder and our application is that we will allow you to prove value, improve value, and save time. Using our report will allow you to present your activity, your outputs, your outcomes, and the impact that you have on your beneficiaries to your funders and to anybody else who might be interested in learning about what it is that you do that makes your program unique, and that will allow you to prove value. It also gives you an opportunity to reflect back and look at what is working and not working for you and identify opportunities where you can improve your program to be even more effective for your beneficiaries. And finally, it allows you to save time because each report that you create for True Impact, you will be able to reuse and update so that you don't need to re-input all of the information. Basically, what you're going to be doing in the report is going through and providing us with information that you have available to you. You don't need to get any new information for us. You'll start off by giving the name and a brief description of your program, the period of time for which you're reporting, which is generally going to be about a year. Upload your logo if you have one, so it shows up on all your reports, and the stage that your report is in, which would be initial, interim, or final. Then you'll talk a little bit about the intervention, what it is that your program does, the social category that you're in, the type of intervention that you take, how often and for what duration you engage with your beneficiaries, and again, a very brief description of what you do. Then talk to us a little bit about who your beneficiaries are, where they're located, what their demographic breakdown is. And then most importantly is our logic model, where you have the opportunity to describe the inputs to your system, the outputs, how many people are reached or impacted by your system, and the ultimate impact that they have on your beneficiaries. And finally, there's the budget. And at the very end of your reporting cycle, you can share a couple of narrative stories with us to let us know about the successes that you've had and the lessons that you've learned. The logic model is fairly straightforward. For some organizations, you will start by developing capacity, whether it's building resources, hiring people, or advocating for policy change. And then all programs have some level of reach, some number of people that they actually determine are able to access their programs. Many programs then, the beneficiaries who are reached by your program learn, they develop capacity or skills as a function of your program, they act, they change their behavior in some way as a function of your program, and ultimately they succeed. And what success means varies as a function of what your program's goal is. It's the social impact that you decide is important for your beneficiaries. The reporting process starts when you receive a mail notification and a notification to set up your account. Then you will submit your initial report, which you will create on the platform. True Impact will review it, will possibly give you some feedback to make it stronger and clearer, and eventually you'll publish the final version of the report to your funders. Your email notification comes to you in the mail, and it will include information about your grant, and most importantly, it will include a sign-up link where you will go to sign up and start your report, and an email address that you will use to set up this account. Be sure to use this particular email address as it's the one that's been given to us by your funder, and it's associated with the investment for your account. Clicking on the link will take you to the Create New Account page where you will enter that email that you received in the invitation. And this will take you to your to-do page, which will show you, if nothing else, the one new account that you have where you've got an investment that you haven't allocated yet because you haven't started a report. If you've been working with us in the past, you might also see other reports that are in various stages of completion. Click on the report that you're interested in, confirm the investment, and decide whether you want to create a brand new report, which is what I think many of you will be doing. Select an existing report if you want to update something to go from an initial report to a final report, Or you can clone an existing report if you're starting a new program that's very similar to an existing program, or if you're re-upping a program for a coming year. So you don't need to re-enter all of your information. Select, if you're creating a new report from scratch, you'll be asked to give the report name. That will already be filled in for you from information from your funder, but you can overwrite it if you like, and a brief description of your report. At that point, your report now moves down to the reports to be submitted or published field, because you still need to complete it and submit it. The first thing you're going to want to do is come up with a very brief description, sort of an elevator speech of what your program does. Then give us the time period that you're reporting on, upload your organization's logo, and indicate whether this is an initial forecast, that is something for a program that's just beginning, an interim report where you're updating information after your program's been live for a while, or if it's the final report where you'll be reporting actual numbers that you have gathered over the course of the year. Then you will start by talking about what your primary social cause is, and for many social causes you will also be dropped down into a tree structure where you can select a secondary cause. In this case, you started out by selecting education, and then within that, this program is specifically focused on equal opportunity in education. And then you will talk to us about the types of services that this program provides, whether it's direct service where you're interacting directly with your beneficiaries, capacity development where you're working with programs, organizations, intermediaries that will eventually benefit beneficiaries, or if you're working in policy and advocacy. This particular demonstration is going to be looking at a program that does direct service, but other programs have other needs. If you do have a direct service program, you will be asked how often and how frequently and at what level you engage with your beneficiaries. If you are a resource capacity development or policy program, you'll be asked other questions. You will be asked, how often you interact with your beneficiaries, for how long, and then we'll ask you where are the people that you ultimately serve? And at this point, you should be thinking about your ultimate beneficiaries. So even if you're developing capacity, say you're doing a teacher training program that's located at your university in Chicago, Illinois, if those teachers are from all over the country and going back and reaching out to students all over the country, you would say that your organization is serving the entire country. You can list as many places as makes sense to you. Then describe the specific beneficiaries that are going to ultimately be served by your program. You can describe them in terms of their gender, their age, their ethnicity, their socioeconomic class. Because you will be describing them in multiple ways, it's very likely that this number will equal more than 100%. That's not a problem. If you have any additional information that you want to provide in words, you have the opportunities to do that as well, so that people have a good sense of exactly who it is that your program serves. And then talk about the types of service that your program specifically provides. You will be offered a number of different options that you can select from. These are generally indicated by your funder to sort of give us a sense of the types of programs that you are involved in. And within each type of program, you'll be presented with a number of specific results or outcomes at each stage of the logic model that you can select as relevant for your program. So for example, if you're an educational program, the number of students that you reach might be an appropriate reach indicator. But if you are a program serving out-of-work individuals, then it would be the number of clients that you reach, and so on and so forth. And at each stage, you will select specific relevant indicators. You need to select one for reach, which is the number of people that you initially make contact with, and you need to select one for succeed, which is the ultimate number of people who are impacted by your program. You also have the opportunity to select capacity developed and learn and act if those are appropriate for your particular program. If your program is building capacity, select those. And if the people who interact with your program learn and act before they reach the ultimate impact. For example, if it's a school program, perhaps they learn something about science, and then they act, they attend school more frequently, and finally they're impacted by having higher grades or graduating from high school. For each outcome indicator that you select, you will be asked to define a success threshold. That is how you would tell if somebody had actually succeeded at your program. So for something like REACH, how do you know if you've actually reached a participant? Perhaps they showed up and participated in your program. Perhaps they showed up at your soup kitchen and they got some food. Perhaps they showed up at your hospital and they were given information about health. Then you will forecast, if it's an initial report, or report in retrospect if it's a final report, how many individuals succeeded. And then you will tell us how you know that they succeeded in that way. First, you will tell us in a broad general way, did you guess? Did you estimate from existing data, or did you directly measure that? And depending on which of those you select, you will be given a number of additional categories to give us a little more information about how you exactly tracked or estimated the number of people that are served by your program. And you will have the opportunity to upload any particular instruments that you use to assess that measurement. Finally, you will have the opportunity to describe the measurement process in your own words. And once you've done this for all of the different results and outcomes indicators, you can upload any documentation that you might have about your program. And if you want to, you can provide additional written material in your own words to explain what your program does. After this, you'll provide basic budget information, the direct expenses, indirect expenses, and so on. And if there are appropriate documents that you would like to upload related to that, you can do so. And finally, once you've done that, what's called the impact receipt, or the report, shows up. And this is the report. You can see the top of it for the College Success and Career Exploration Program. And once you've done that, you can hit submit to submit your report. If there are any issues with your report, when you try to submit it, this what's left to do list will appear. And there are different types of indicators to show how complete each part of the report is in terms of your completing it. If there's a green check, it's complete. If there's no check, information is needed. And if there's a red X, there's an error. The submit button becomes active when all the sections are completed. At that point, you can hit submit, and boom, your report has been sent to us. At any point during this, you can click on the help button and it will send an email to us, and somebody will stop and get back to you and let you know what to do to solve any possible problems you might have. Thanks, and we look forward to seeing you on the platform.